for joining me again through this feel-good short sequence flows. Very nice for the morning or right before bed. As you can see here, we're waiting for the sun to rise. It's very beautiful. So this flow is going to go 15 to 20 minutes or so. We're going to work more into the lower body, the hips a little bit, and the hamstrings, quads. So whenever you're ready, let's meet here on the mat in an easy seated position. I like to cross my legs, but if this isn't comfortable for you, you always have the option to sit the hips down onto the heels. Closing your eyes if they are not already closed as you bring your hands palms facing down onto the knees. On an inhale, bring the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, drop them down the back. 2 more times like that. Inhale, lifting the shoulders all the way up to the ears, create length. Exhale, allow them to drop. 1 more inhale and exhale. Keeping the eyes closed. And bring your focus and attention to the breath. Taking a moment to scan the body and notice where you feel your breath. Are you holding it in the chest, the belly, the hips? As you begin to soften, bring the focus to the belly. As you breathe into the nose, consciously follow that breath all the way into the belly, feeling the expansion. And exhale, pulling the navel in towards the spine as you engage the pelvic floor, the Mula Bandha. Staying there for a moment. And then bring that focus into the upper belly, or you can think about the rib cage right below the breastbone. Getting into the belly, now the ribs and the chest. And exhale, navel towards the spine, engage the core. And continuing to follow that breath up into the heart center, the place in between the collarbone, the shoulder blades. Coming into the belly, the ribs, all the way up into the heart center. Exhaling, engaging core, navel towards the spine. One more breath here. And exhale, gently dropping the chin down towards the chest. You can start to blink the eyes open. And gazing forward, begin making small little circles around the hips. Starting to open up. This is always one of my favorite stretches to do. As you lean over to one side, pressing that opposite knee down in towards the mat. Making them very slow as we start. And then go ahead and take it into the opposite direction. Just bringing some movement into the hips, into the lower extremities. And then gently coming back to center. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart center. 2 more like that. Inhale, reach it up. You can even gaze up towards the thumbs. Exhale, heart center. Having a smile on the face. Last one, reach it up, open up. Exhale, bringing it back to heart center. On the next inhale, you can start to roll forward, finding your tabletop. Spreading the fingertips wide as always. Starting to shake the hips from side to side. I like to say wagging the tail. Pressing into the index finger knuckle creates an external rotation through the elbows. Puffing up through the shoulder blades. And now start to wag your tail, bringing it all the way down towards the heels, keeping it at a hover as you rock it and roll it forward and back, and then rock it and roll it back into your tabletop. On the next breath, you tuck the toes under, lift the knees to a hover, tuck the toes under a little more, and now come back all the way down into that tabletop position, starting to walk the hands back towards the knees, coming into a toe stretch. So from here, you may even need to take the hands and allow that pinky toe, might be lagging, to tuck under a little more. Sitting the hips onto the heels if that's accessible. If not, you can stay forward in the tabletop and then gradually start to come to whatever your comfort zone is. If the hips are on the heels, you can bring the hands down towards the thighs, roll the shoulders up towards the ears, drop it down the back. This is a pretty intense toe stretch, so I do like to close the eyes to bring the attention inward. Need 2 more breaths here. Breathe into the belly, the ribs, the chest, open up through the heart. Exhale, squeeze the pelvic floor, bring the navel in towards the spine. Starting to walk the hands forward if they are not already there. Untuck the toes. You can pitter-patter the feet onto the mat. And then start to bring that right foot to the outside of the right hand. And shimmy, sham it back and forth if that feels good. Bringing again that fluid into the hips. And then coming into stillness, pressing the chest forward, gaze forward. Finding your lizard. And you have the option to stay here. We're going to be here for several breaths. Or if it feels okay, you can start to walk the forearms down towards the mat. If you have a block at home, you could place a block under the mat as well, or under the forearms as well. Staying for 3, keeping the breath. 2. 1 more, inhale, and exhale. Pressing back into the palms. Take a deep breath in, touch the chest forward. And then on an exhale, start to sit the hips back, keeping the right foot planted onto the mat. Inhale, coming forward, finding that variation of lizard. And exhale, slowly bringing the hips back, foot is down. 1 more time, inhale. Gaze forward, lean forward. Exhale, take the hips back, allowing the breath to guide you through each movement. Inhale, coming back to center. Start to heel toe the right foot to the outside or behind the left wrist, preparing for Pigeon Pose. The knee comes behind the right wrist, foot behind the left, and then slowly start to drop the hips down towards the mat. Inhale, lengthen, gaze forward, puff forward. And exhale, taking it slow, start to come down onto the forearms. Breathe in through the nose, send the breath into the right hip. And then exhale, you have the option to stay here or take your variation of pigeon. Maybe stack the forearms, The head can come down to the hand. If it's in your practice, you can walk the hands all the way out in front of you. Release the glutes, starting to soften. Staying for 3, 2, 1 more breath, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, start to slowly walk the hands back. If you have not already, lifting up into your king pigeon, press the chest forward. And then you can plant the hands, tuck the left toes under, and press it back into a downward facing dog. This might be your first downward facing dog. You could bend one knee and bend the other, start to walk it out. Notice that different feeling on the right from the left, different sensation you've created. And then coming onto the tippy toes, slowly start to lower the knees back down onto the mat. Walk the hands back, finding their toe stretch. Close your eyes if that feels okay. Create a long line of energy from the tailbone through the crown of the head. 3, 2, 1 more breath, inhale, exhale. Do that same sequence on the other side. So start to come back into your tabletop, untuck the toes, you can put the feet on the mat, and then step the left foot to the outside of the right pinky, or this left pinky, excuse me. And shimmy, sham it a little bit back and forth if that feels good to start. And then coming back into stillness, puff the chest forward, having the option to stay here or walk it down onto the forearms. For 3, 2, 1 more breath, inhale, exhale. Inhale, start to press into the palms, gaze forward, chest forward, and then exhale, taking the hips back, keeping the left foot on the mat. Inhale, coming forward. Very slow movements. Your breath is your guide, so just follow your breath. On your exhale, press the hips back. Inhale, coming forward, chest forward. Feel that in the right quadricep, the right hip flexors. Exhale, take it back. Now taking the feeling into the left hamstrings. Inhale, coming forward, finding your pigeon. Start to heel toe the left foot to the outside or behind the right wrist. Slowly lowering down. Melting the hips down. Puffing the chest up into your king pigeon. And on an exhale, starting to walk down onto the forearms. Take a moment here. Relax the glutes, relax the hips. And now if it feels okay, you can cross at the forearms, bring the forehead towards the hands. If there's any other variation that was better for you and your body, feel free to take that now. Staying for 3, 2, send the breath into the left hip. 1 more breath here. And as slow as you can, you'll start to make your way out, find your king pigeon. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, drop in. Relax the face as you tuck the right toes under, kick the left foot back, downward facing dog. And then start to walk the hands back towards the feet, finding a forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. You can bring the hands to the shins or fingertips to the mat. Exhale, fold crown of the head towards the earth. For 3, notice the expansion in the hips on an inhale. Exhale, taking it a little deeper, relax the neck, relax the shoulders. 2, and 1. Starting to walk the hands all the way back out, coming into your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, you can open up through the hip. Thinking about squaring through the shoulders, press the right shoulder down. And then coming back into your 3-legged dog. Inhale, exhale, right knee in towards nose. Step the right foot through. First, finding your lunge, gaze forward, and then slowly lower the left knee down to the mat. Untuck the toes, bringing the hands to the thigh. Low lunge. And inhale, reaching the arms up overhead. Lift the shoulders towards the ears. And then on an exhale, drop the shoulders down the back. Getting a nice stretch here in the left quadricep, or the left hip flexors, excuse me. Now, taking the right hand, interlace the fingers around the left wrist, reach up towards the sky, and then exhale, take it over towards the right to get even a little bit deeper. Staying in 3, 2, 1 more breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, slowly coming back to center, release the hands, and then go ahead and plant the hands down to the mat. Inhale, exhale, take it back, half split, bringing the heel towards the earth, toes towards the sky. Descending the hips towards the earth, inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, rounding in. 2, and 1. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, lengthen, and now walking both hands to the inside of the right foot. Start to walk the hands towards the left corner of the mat, sitting the hips slightly towards the right. You'll feel this behind the knee, coming up into the groin. Staying in the 3s. 2, 1 more breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, slowly coming back to center. Start to bring the sole of the foot down, coming forward into your low lunge. Gaze forward. Plant the hands, tuck the left toes under. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, open up through the hip, in through the knee. Press the left shoulder down. And then coming back into your 3-legged dog. Bring the left knee in towards the nose. Step it through low lunge. Dropping the right knee down towards the earth. Untuck the toes. Inhale, bringing the hands to the thighs. And then reaching the arms up overhead, shoulders towards the ears. Exhale, drop it down the back. Taking the left hand, reach for the right wrist, reaching up towards the sky, and then exhale, take it over towards the left. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, plant the hands, press the hips back, half split. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold. 3, 2, 1 more breath. Inhale, exhale, sit back. Now start to walk the hands to the inside of the leg, bring it towards the right corner of the mat. Press the hips slightly to the left until you feel that sensation. Breathing for 3, 2, and 1. And slowly walking back to center, bringing the sole of the foot to the mat. Inhale, chest forward with a smile. Plant the hands, tuck the right toes under, taking the left foot back, downward facing dog. For 3, 2, 1 more breath here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, coming onto the tippy toes. Exhale, drop the knees down towards the mat. You can untuck the toes, sit the hips back onto the heels, and just roll over onto one side to bring the feet forward into a butterfly pose. Allowing the soles of the feet to kiss, starting with the heels as close to the hips as possible to really get into the groin. Taking the thumb to the pad of the foot, open the foot like a book. Inhale, roll the shoulders up towards the ears. And then exhale, if it feels okay, you can start to hinge from the hips, bringing the elbows towards the calves, assisting the knees a little closer towards the earth. Breathe in through the nose, sit all the way down the spinal column into the hip. And exhale, fold forward. Keeping the gaze slightly in front of the toes. And coming into our 3, 2, 1 more breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, slowly start to come up, keeping the soles of the feet together, but now taking it a little bit farther out in front of you to create more of a diamond shape. So that sensation will come into the outer hip. As you inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, start to fold forward. You can take the hands underneath the shins if that feels okay. And then you can round down until you notice a sensation in the outer hip. And now you can relax the chin towards the chest, forehead towards the heels. Breathe into the hip, send that all the way into the rib cage, and exhale, fold a little deeper. For 3, 2, 1. And then begin gently making your way back to center. You can take the hands to the thighs, helping the knees come together, and give yourself a little hug here. I'm taking one more deep hip opener as you bring the right heel, or excuse me, the left heel to the outside of the right hip. So the left knee is facing forward, keeping slight engagement to protect your knees in this pose, and then stacking the right knee over the left. So there's a couple of options. Again, this is a fairly deep hip opener, so you may be okay by bringing the right foot to the mat, and you can already feel this pull here. If this is where you are, inhale into the belly. If you are taken into Gomokasana, you'll start to stack the right knee over the left. I like to close the eyes in hip openers. Inhale to lengthen, puffing the chest forward. And then exhale, start to slowly walk the fingertips in front of you, forehead towards the knee. Taking a moment to find your shape, find your pose. Then breathing in for 3, 2, 1 more breath. And slowly start to walk it back. You can unwind, bringing the hands behind the hips, soles of the feet towards the earth. Just kind of windshield wiper it from side to side before we go on to the opposite hemisphere, the opposite side of the body. And now you'll bring the right heel to the outside of the left hip, and then stacking the left knee over the right. Take your time to set up. Inhale to lengthen. And then exhale, start to fingertip it out, walk forward, forehead towards the knee. Take the first couple of breaths to settle into your space, into your pose, into your hips. Now staying for 3, 2, loosen that breath all the way into the left hip, I feel that, and 1. Slowly starting to walk the hands back, bringing it behind the hips. You can unwind, soles of the feet towards the earth, windshield wiper it out. And then coming into an easy seated position. Reaching the arms up overhead, palms together. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Slightly bowing the chin down towards the chest as you close your eyes. Softening through the face, through the jaw. Breathe in through the nose. Sending it into the belly, the ribs, the chest. And exhale, gratefully sigh it out. Thank you for joining me for that short lower body flow. The divine in me honors the divine in me. Namaste.